Days of Our Lives. That's not Abby. Shocking twist changes everything? The setup: Abby's return. Let me bring everyone up to date in case they've been out of touch with the soap for a while. Abigail Devereaux has been through some unbelievable crap on Days of Our Lives. Abby Devereaux, whom is a daughter to legacy characters of Salem, namely Jack Devereaux and Jennifer Horton, has for years been in the middle of all the antics in Salem. The plots she has created have included her suffering from mental illness, fending off evil enemies, and dealing with love issues and family allegiance. In the last episodes, Abby has been brought back into the storyline after a long time of absence from the show Salem. It was good to have her back, fans included, but it took close to 5 minutes into her new show for something appeared to be off. Her behavior was somewhat different, subtly at least, until later episodes made the change louder. Earlier, the viewers and Jane's friends and family observed her transformations to the consequences of the traumatic experience she went through. As viewers of this week's shocking episode will attest, the show has been turned on its head by the new twist. Frankly, the Abby who came back to this town is not Abigail Devereaux, it is Abby Horton. Rather, she is an imposter. A woman who has been surgically remade in Abby's image and who has been taught to think, act, talk, and even feel like Abby. This revelation was very evident in a particular scene where Abby encounters a character from her history, a character who knew her as a person of truth. The moment was rather dramatic and emotional one. Audiences were stunned and had to gasp while truth was revealed. The imposter Abby, who was working as per instructions of an as yet unnamed villain, had willingly exposed her fake identity and followed a classic soap opera trajectory of abruptly departing to set the scene for a brand new exciting story. The effect that comes with this revelation to the citizens of Salem is massive. Chad DiMera, Abby's husband, is destroyed. Having struggled for years to help Abby through her mental health issues and the loss of their children, Chad now faces the ultimate betrayal. It is a move where he finds the woman he believed he found his wife with is not his wife at all. He is heartbroken, and the bitterness he has towards those who arranged such a trick will send him to the bad side. At the same time, the real Abigail's whereabouts have not been disclosed. To this twist, a myriad of questions are raised. How complex are normal people like Abby? This is a very good question. Perhaps it has been ages since she was reported missing. And what for this incredible plan? The situations described are now more critical than ever before, and answers to these questions can create a shift in reality. As it can well be expected from Days of Our Lives, show viewers don't miss a chance to discuss possible culprits behind this false narrative on social media. Some ideas have been suggested, the most sinister of which is names topping the list. Despite the fact that the character of Stefano is supposedly dead, he manages to remain a creeper over Salem. As a notorious player of tricks, and as an individual who was obsessed with manipulating the lives of individuals in the Salem, it is not out of place for Stefano to plot such scenario even if he was dead. One has to wonder if this is one of Jack's last and perhaps most cunning schemes against the Hortons and DiMeras. Kristen DiMera has had a background of impersonation and more so deception. As a woman who had recently been on the run, she would have been in a position to have both the opportunity and the motive of replacing Abby with a look-alike. Kristen is always seen with a hidden intention. Perhaps her hatred for Abby and the intention to disrupt the DiMera family are compelling her. Dr. Ralph, the mad scientist behind most of Salem's outlandish arcs, is yet another probable culprit. Of course, such a feat is possible with the Salem's villains and Dr. Ralph, who is shown to have the necessary skills as well as close relationships with many of them. His return could mean and imply that more chaos for the residents of Salem is on the horizon. New villain. There is also the suspect that this plot creates a new villain in the Days of Our Lives drama. An individual with a hidden agenda that has something to do with Abby past or the DiMera family, which has a goal of weaving a revenge on Abby and the residents of Salem. The real Abby, where is she? One of the most crucial questions therefore is, where did the real Abby go? Her post-show existence remains one of the biggest questions, but recently the series has been leaving breadcrumbs suggesting that she might just be right around the corner. Other viewers have been suggesting that Abby is being held captive and can perhaps even be in one of the many hidden holes of the DiMera famiglia. Some people think that she could have been programmed or is being coerced into performing the acts for some big picture. Abby's true condition is the biggest mystery of the show at the moment, and it doesn't come as a surprise when show's writers will unveil her secrets gradually in the coming episodes. The emotional fallout. Often these families, which can best be described as being in crises or in very vulnerable situations, receive little or no support from the society. The twist of the story that Abby is not Abby is worse than a simple gimmick. It is a tragedy for the characters who appreciated her. The news brings a great shock to the Devereaux family. The family has been through many years of a traumatic experience. Chad DiMera. Chad's pain may be arguably the deepest. He was one lucky man to have met Abby again, and as much as possible he was banking on their meeting every chance he got. Being told that the woman he is sleeping with and sharing his life is a fake is mind-blowing. Chad could go hopelessness, in which case he would continue being miserable, anger, and in the extreme, predetermine himself for revenge or dedicate all his efforts to finding the real Abby. Jennifer Horton. Jennifer is another mother who has had shares her fare of broken-hearting in the show. She has stood up multiple times to defend Abby's right to be happy and protected from the so-called husband. If the news that her daughter has been replaced does get to her, then Jennifer is sure to be doubting the reality of all that she had believed in. I am sure that due to relentless desire to find the truth and bring her daughter back home, the character of the protagonist named Jennifer would turn into a desperate one. Jack Devereaux. Jack will probably feel and are both anger and guilt over his job promotion. He was virtually a stranger in the life of Abby, and that is why he never knew how to compensate for years and years that were largely missing in her life. The above realizations by Jack could make him to harm someone or to do anything in his power to find and to protect his daughter. Gabby Hernandez. Although Gabby has had some problems with Abby in the past, she may be much more in for trouble. On one hand, she could feel satisfied as she had always suspected that Abby wasn't the best of people. Off, she might be seduced by the plot, either for the side of good or for the side of evil. Julie Williams. One of the earliest to join the cause is likely to be the overly possessive mother of Horton's family. Julie dreams of justice and has strong feeling for her family, which makes her a strong character in the search for the truth. The writers of the NBC soap opera, Days of Our Lives, have created a perfect template for what will be a fresh and quite enthralling chapter in the series' narrative. Looking at so many of the characters impacted by this truth, the effects will be experienced throughout Salem. It goes without saying that the main concern in the following weeks will become the searching for the actual Abigail Devereaux. It will feature investigation, drama, action sequences when main characters are in peril and when the real culprit is being unmasked or booked. One of the other stories to follow is the future of the doppelganger Abby. Can she be saved, or is she part of the calumny? Her real intentions and past will be characteristic in revealing all the angles of the plot. Whether she will turn into a tragic character or a real antagonist is still unclear. As soon as the real planner of this scheme is exposed, the person will have to pay for it. It's one thing to essentially reignite a simmering feud with Stefano or Kristen or some other established foe. But the reality here is that whoever this new opponent is, the consequences of this effortless deception will be catastrophic. Feat that can culminate in long-term hostility, which might define the show in the nearest future. Apart from the Doctor's attempt to find Abby directly, the revelation can be seen only as an extra step. It will affect people in Salem in the long run within the social relations of gender, class, or age. Loyalty will be lost, friendships will change, and new affiliations could be made. Largely depend on how these characters are going to respond to this discovery and how they are going to act according to it. Unquestionably, the exposure of the person posing as one of them will definitely impact the concerned community of Salem. More people would discover the reality when it comes out, thus departing from the seemingly secure town and trust. This might cause toppling of the existing factions as the citizens of Salem unite against any future occurrences. Days of Our Lives as a show has left this kind of legacy. The new turn in the drama of the Days of Our Lives goes to show why the show will never run out of fans. Since its creation, it has always evolved, adding new characters and new plots but keeping a link to their past. How the show preserves the old and introduces the new is best illustrated by the fact of the existence of Abby, who is not Abby. The show writers are adept at writing episodes with emotional subtexts, and frequently the viewers get to experience the warm and fuzzy feeling for days after certain episodes are aired. The consequence resulting from this latest twist is as sure.